A very good morning to all of you students. Today we are going to do two topics. The first topic which I'll teach you is very easy, that's story writing. And I think you all have done it in the previous class, but I'm not sure. So that's why I will just teach you all since it's part of my portion. Okay. So now this story writing is from a given outline. When an outline is given to you all, how you will have to form the story using the outline. Now you're not to miss any part of the outline when you write a story. Okay, you have to use every part that's given to you. Second thing is you just don't have to add one or two words in between and write the thing as it is. You have to try to add sentences in between. And a way to make your story a little long is try to add more adjectives. Like supposing you're talking of a farmer. If you know he is an old farmer, a poor farmer, a young farmer, okay, a very hard-working farmer. So when you add these words, almost in many places, it helps to expand your story even more. Correct? So let's see now how else you can expand your story. Story writing is a part of composition. Points to remember when writing a story. Read the given outline properly to understand the story. So first you read it, so you get an idea what the whole story is. Then you take around about a minute to think and visualize it as if you are watching the story on the TV. Okay. So when you watch the TV, what else will happen? What else you can add in it? That will help you to write your story more easily. Okay, visualize your story. Give a suitable title to the story. Now, this is very, very important. Your story, if it has no title, you are going to lose marks. Sometimes they ask you to give a moral. At that time, you have to give a moral. But you may not lose marks if they don't tell you. They may not tell you, right, give a title. They may not tell you, give a moral. But if they tell you, mention, give a moral, then you have to write. And if you, after telling, if you haven't written the moral, you will lose marks. Clear? But the heading, whether they tell you or no, the title has to be there. Okay. So moral, if you think your story, you can write a moral, just write it. Don't wait for them to ask. Okay. But you may or may not lose. If they say you have to write, you should write a moral. But title, they may or may not tell you, they will just expand the story and you have to write the total title. If there is a moral, you can think of it, write the moral. You will get, you know, you will create a better impression on the teacher when you write a moral, even though it's not asked. Clear? But title has to be written even if it's not asked. Okay. Carefully and appropriately use connecting words to bring out the complete story. So you have to see, don't make the story haphazard, up and down. Don't mix up the lines that are given. See, the lines are in the proper order, just as they're given. Only you have to use words to connect them. Okay. Write the story in the past tense. Generally, 99% of the time, your story has to be written in the past tense. He did the work. He told his sons. Okay, so that's the way you will write. Give a moral at the end. Now I just told you about the moral. It's not it's not compulsory if it's not told to you, but if it's told to you, you have to write it. But if you write it, it gives an added good impression to the teacher. Okay, let's see the examples that are given. Bring out the readable story with the help of the outline given below. Give a title and a suitable moral at the end. So here they are mentioning, give a title and a suitable moral. So you have to write it, otherwise you will lose extra marks, one for the title and one for the moral. Okay, outline. A man finds a hen. The hen lays a golden egg every day. The man lives comfortably selling the eggs, thinks of becoming rich very soon, kills the hen, gets nothing, regrets his action. Now this is not unfamiliar with you all because I'm sure this is there even in your Hindi and even in your Marathi. Clear? So you have It's the same way as you're expanding the story over there, you have to expand it over here also. Now, how the answer is? I gave a title, The Hen That Lay Golden Eggs. Okay. Once upon a time, I'm just reading it. A man living in a village found a hen. See now how I added the whole thing. I could have just said a man once found a hen. It would have become shorter. But I said once upon a time, a man living in a village. Didn't say just a man found a hen. Okay. So that's the way you have to add words to make your sentence and your story a little longer. The man was overjoyed when he saw that it laid a golden egg every day. So here you see, you could have just said the hen laid a golden egg every day. No, but then when you find what if imagine you are getting a hen, won't you be happy? So you have to add all this in your sentence. The problems and hardships of life for him was gone because he lived comfortably, selling one golden egg every day. Now, I see this is exactly what I told you. You have to imagine, you have to think the story in your mind. Now things were going nice and easy, for him. But one day, a thought crossed his mind, and he said to himself, "If I can have all the eggs at once, then I will become even richer." So, with this thought of becoming quite rich, he got hold of a long, sharp knife and killed the hen. See, I could have just said, with this thought of becoming rich, he killed the hen. But yeah, I added, he got hold of, and I described, I only use adjectives. Described the knife. I didn't say he took a knife and killed the hen. I could have said that also. But then here you're adding more. See, long, sharp. So you're describing, using adjectives to describe over here. But to his shock, he found no eggs inside the hen. Seeing the hen lying in a pool of blood, the bitter truth of his folly. Now, folly means foolishness. So, when you are writing, you can use the word foolishness or you can use the word folly. Now what's the difference between these two words? If you see foolishness is a very common word. Whereas if you use the word folly, it shows that you have a better weightage in your language. Yes, your vocabulary is quite extensive. It gives that impression when you use words which are not used every day in your daily life. That creates an impression on the teacher. Now, it depends on you. I've given you both the words, so you can write whatever you want, whichever you find easy to remember and to spell. Okay, that led to the loss of his beautiful ear. You can use any of these, don't write both. So that's why I made a slash over there. So beautiful, or you can write precious hen, dawned on him. He cried bitterly and regretted his action. So I could just say, but alas, it was too late. But I added over here, he cried, and then I said bitterly. So you're describing the action of crying. Okay, so here you're adding an adverb and regretted his action. But alas, it was too late. So, what is your moral? Moral, you write at the end after they're leaving a line. Okay, moral, write the word moral over there. Greed leads to destruction. Same way when you're writing your heading. Write the title, leave a line, write your story, leave a line, write your moral. Okay, there will be no lines left in between. In fact, if you want, start a new para if you want, but try not to leave lines in between. Okay. Okay, I have given you more stories. So let's go to the next story. The second outline. An old farmer had 4 sons. All were lazy. Farmer worried about his son's future. One day, farmer falls ill. From his deathbed, calls the 4 of them. Now here see, in your question that's given, it's written farmer falls ill. But if, as far as possible, in your uh, answer, you have to make it into past tense. Remember what I told you, the little rules points to remember. Make into past tense. So even though in this outline is given farmer falls ill, you will write the farmer fell ill. Okay. From his deathbed calls the 4 of them. Tells them about a hidden treasure in the field. The sons dig the field, find nothing. Sow the paddy, get a rich harvest. So what is the paddy? The rice with the cover. Okay, it's called the paddy. Inside that you find the rice. So the rice along with the husk, the outer covering is called the husk. Now the answer, yes, see, did they tell you write a title? No, but I have written the title. So that's the way you will also do. Before you start a story, first think of the title. An appropriate title, write it first, then start your story. Don't hurry to start your story. I repeat, don't hurry to start your story. Imagine the story in your mind. Then think of the title. Start with your title, then write your story. Clear? In a village there lived an old farmer. He had 4 sons. The 4 sons were very lazy. Though he tried to teach them to work hard, it was all in vain. In vain means of no use. The farmer was worried about his son's future. One day, the old man fell seriously ill, and the old man began to think as that this was the best time to pass on a message to his son. Okay, here there is a mistake. As think that as will not come. Okay, to think that this was the best time to pass on a message to his sons. As will not come. Delete the as please. He thought of something that would change their lives. So while on his deathbed, he called the 4 of them and said, "Listen to me carefully. I have hidden a great treasure in the paddy field." Okay, your field spelling is wrong. F-I-E-L-D. I've made a typing error. F-I-E-L-D. Dig it out and distribute it among yourselves equally. Right after saying this, the old farmer passed away. After the cremation of their father, the 4 sons decided to dig the paddy field in order to get the hidden treasure. Early next morning, each of them picked a tool for digging, a spade, a shovel, etc., and started digging away at the paddy field. They dug the whole field, working from dawn to dusk for several days, but they could not find the treasure. Now, since the whole field was dug up, they decided to sow the paddy in the field, and the field was thoroughly tilled. The field yielded a very good harvest. The 4 sons then sold the paddy in the market and got a good amount of money in return. And when they divided the money among themselves equally, it made them realize that their father had intended them to learn. He had left behind the greatest treasure, the fruits of hard work. So that's when they realize when you work hard, you get fruits of your labor, your hard work. Labor is physical work, okay? So in moral, hard labor bears sweet fruits. Okay. Now your homework. The lion, the king of the beast, kills many animals. All animals terrified decide to send one animal to the lion every day. The lion agrees. The turn of the hare reaches late, tells there is another lion in the forest, wanted to seize and kill him. Seize means catch hold of him tightly. Hare takes the lion to a deep well. The lion sees his reflection, thinks there is another lion in the well, jumps into the well, and all the animals happy, make Hare their king. Now here it's understood that when he jumps into the well, he drowns and he dies. That is the reason all the animals are happy. So it's not mentioned here, but you have to understand, analyze the outlines. That's what I said. Think for a while before you just start writing. Clear? Okay. The second one. A boy falls in bad company means the people whom he's going around are not good, or maybe have bad habits, whatever. Father brings apples. Father puts them in the cupboard. So here that means the father realizes that he is not in good company and wants him to change. Okay, so he decides to teach him a lesson or give him an example. All that is not mentioned here, but that's what you have to think and analyze. Places a rotten apple among them. Next day, all apples rotten. So teaches a lesson. Here that means son now learned a lesson that when you go with people who have bad habits, you are going to be influenced by them, influenced by their habits, maybe influenced by yourself or out of peer pressure. That is, because you are going with them, you have to do what they tell you to do or do the things that they are doing. Only then you will fit into the group. Okay, so that's the end of this lesson. And I hope it's quite easy because I know you'll have already done this sort of a thing in Hindi and Marathi, or you'll have doing it. So it shouldn't be very difficult, but don't, and please don't forget the title. Okay, so I end the lesson. If you have any doubts, do message me. Thank you and have a good day.